All right, let's talk about electrons and chemical bonding. Today we're going to talk about some things we talked about in class. Okay, first we're going to describe the parts of an atom. Then we're going to identify the parts of the periodic table. Then we're going to describe chemical bonding and talk about a new concept, valence electrons, which we'll be doing in class. The parts of the atom, as you can see, are protons, neutrons, electrons. Protons have a positive charge, electrons have a negative charge, and neutrons have a neutral charge or no charge. Now we're assuming that this entire atom is neutral, meaning it has no charge. So we'll say that all the protons equal the number of neutrons, which equal the number of electrons. So the number of protons, the number of neutrons, and the number of electrons all equal each other. So if an atom has 7 protons, it has 7 neutrons and 7 electrons. The only way to charge an atom, to make it an ion, which we'll talk about later, is to take away electrons or add more electrons. Here's the periodic table. As you can see, it has all the elements, and everything in the entire universe is made up of these elements. Hydrogen is the most basic. We already talked about this. Helium is number 2. Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, etc., etc., etc. Okay? All right, let's talk about chemical bonding. Chemical bonding is the joining of atoms to form new substances. We can see below we have oxygen, hydrogen, and hydrogen. You take these, you bond them, we have a new substance, water, H2O. Chemical bonds hold atoms together. And a chemical bond will form when electrons are either shared, gained, or lost. We can move the hydrogens in, share electrons with the oxygen, and we will form a chemical bond. When we form this chemical bond, we are sharing electrons and forming a new substance, which is water. And we can see here water is being formed, or it also kind of looks like a hydrogen, oxygen, Mickey Mouse. But it's a new chemical bond because we shared electrons. Remember, only electrons can move. Okay? Protons can't move, neutrons can't move, only electrons. Don't forget that. All right, here we go. Look on the periodic table. The one I gave you, I believe, has the atomic number on top, the atomic mass number on the bottom, just like here. The chemical symbol for oxygen is O. The atomic number is 8, which is the number of protons. The atomic mass number is 16, which is the number of protons and neutrons. And like we talked about, remember electrons don't have a weight or they don't have a mass, so we don't include them in the mass number. The mass number is essentially the nucleus, the protons and neutrons. And because all of our atoms that we're dealing with right now are neutral, the number of protons is 8, the number of neutrons is also 8, and the number of electrons is also 8. Okay, don't forget the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons is all the same. But to reiterate, the atomic number is 8, the atomic mass number is 16. Usually double the atomic number. For our purposes right now, to make it easy, we'll just double it. All right? All right, so we have an atomic model of oxygen, which we are going to make. Remember, the atomic number is 8, the atomic mass number is 16. If the atomic number is 8, that means it has 8 protons. Because it's neutral, we also have 8 neutrons and 8 electrons. Here we have a new term, valence electrons. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to add the 8 protons and the 8 neutrons inside the nucleus of this atom. Now, valence electrons talks about the number of electrons in the outermost energy level, or the outermost shell. Remember, we have the first energy level, the second energy level, and the third energy level. The first energy level can only hold 2 electrons. The second energy level can only hold 8. And the third energy level holds 8. And this takes us up to 18, which is the only farther that we're going up. You'll learn the rest in high school. So again, we start on the inside and work our way out. We do not move on to another energy level until that energy level is full. Remember, the first energy level has 2, the second energy level can only hold 8, and the third energy level 8. Now here I'm filling in 2 on the inside, 6 on the outside for a total of 8. Now, are we using the third energy level? No. So that one does not count as our outermost energy level. So what is our valence electrons? Well, the outermost energy level that we are using is the second one. And if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have 6 electrons on the outermost energy level. Therefore, the number of valence electrons is 6. Now, valence electrons can change if we get rid of some or bring some in. But right now, we can see, again, we're not using the third one. We don't care about that one. It's not being used. So our outermost is the second energy level because that is the last one being used. And it has 6 electrons. So again, our valence electrons is 6. Valence electrons are the number of electrons in the outermost energy level. All right? All right, let's do lithium. The atomic number for lithium is 3. The atomic mass number is 6. Atomic number is 3, which means 3 protons. Because it's neutral, we have 3 neutrons and 3 electrons. They're all equal. Again, valence electrons, the number of electrons in the outermost energy level. Fill in the nucleus, 3 protons, 3 neutrons. Start with the innermost energy level, which can hold up to 2. And there we had our third one on the second energy level. Now, how many valence do we have? How many are in the outermost energy level? Remember, we're not using the third energy level, so we don't even count that. So our outermost energy level is now the second energy level. So how many valence electrons are in this energy level? Clearly, there's just 1. So the number of valence electrons for lithium is 1. Neon, atomic number 10. Atomic mass number 20. Atomic number is the number of protons, so we have 10 protons. We also have 10 neutrons and 10 electrons. So, let's figure out the number of valence after we fill in this atomic model. We have 10 protons, 10 neutrons, and 10 electrons. Remember, 2 on the first energy level, up to 8 on the second energy level. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can put them however you want. And later on we'll talk about the spacing of them, but right now I don't care where you put them. I like to put them in clumps of 2, just so they're easy to count. All right, so here we have 10 electrons on the second energy level. How many valence electrons do we have? Remember, valence electrons, the number of electrons on the outermost energy level. Well, we have 8 because, again, we're not using the third energy level.
Honey, you are a rock upon which I stand, and I come here to talk. I hope you understand. The green eyes, yeah, the spotlight shines upon you. And how could anybody deny you? I came here with a love.